Hey guys, this is Kamikan, and today I wanted to talk about the feeling that I get, the sublime feeling that I get from reading a complete and compelling narrative story that has actually finished. Today I wanted to cite 3 manga that are some of my favorite in existence, and the first is Koe no Katachi, or A Silent Voice in English. uh this story is actually one of the first stories that showed me that manga doesn't have to be 100 chapters or 500 chapters long to have a compelling story. This one was only 65 chapters, and I started reading it when it wasn't even finished. And by the time I got up to chapter 65 in the actual original run of the story, I was realizing, wait, this seems like the narrative is actually coming to an end, and that doesn't usually happen in most manga stories. They usually take a long time to end, and most of them drag out to the point where some of them get boring by a certain point. But this one never got boring. It was completely interesting all the way through. The hook of the beginning of the story was so powerful, about a kid who actually became a bully to this other girl who is deaf, and basically he bullies her to the point where she has to leave her school, and he spends the rest of the series trying to make up for it. And we just get to go through the ups and downs of what happens in that story. I recommend this series over, like, I was so moved by this story that I had to buy all the volumes, and I bought them all in Japanese before they were even translated. And yeah, I would recommend this way over the movie. Like, the energy and strength in this series is it's more powerful than it is in the movie. So I recommend you read all 60 something chapters, and just enjoy it for what it is, because the most important thing is that it's finished, it's done, it's a complete narrative, and you get to experience the ups and downs of these characters in a story that's just really well told. Another story like that is Death Note. I got a book that contains all of Death Note in one single volume. I found it at Half Price Books, and I was just like, oh, this is so awesome. Like, I can just read a whole movie, like I can read a whole TV show worth of comics right here that two geniuses put together. It's just like it's the creators of Bakuman putting their minds together to create one of these lasting works that never goes out of style, that never stops selling. And that's what happens when you create a compelling narrative that is a solid story that doesn't let up until the end. Like, it just keeps escalating to the point where you're just completely gripped by the story, and then by the end it has something that you can take from it, that you can learn. And that's why this story just keeps selling, no matter what the decade, no matter what the age, and it just keeps being relevant. So that's Death Note. And then this one's a little bit more of a controversial one because of the creator, and I won't go into the discussion of his situation here, but the work itself is so beautiful, and it's actually one of the longer ones. Death Note is longer than A Silent Voice at maybe 100 or so chapters, 110 maybe, and then Kenshin is actually 333, which I used to think that was a smaller amount because of most manga back in those days having like over 300 something chapters, because the creators and the editors just push the work to keep going as long as possible. But this story ended at just the perfect time. Like, it had so many chapters that were filled with like just awe-inspiring, like feats from the main character, just lessons of atonement and sacrifice, and just making up for your past sins. And it ended really well. So it goes from beginning to end, and it tells a compelling narrative that by the end of it, you're just like, wow, this was great. And I feel like I can read it again. I can always come back to it and enjoy it just the same. Same with Death Note. Same with A Silent Voice. Like, when a story has completed its run and it is narratively strong, it just gives you that feeling like this was a good meal. Like, this was decent, and I would eat at this table again and again. I'm not even gonna compare it to other manga. I'm just saying, like, versus some other manga, which would just be like a snack, which would just be like some potato chips, where you're eating it and you're just like, oh, this was a pretty good meal, and then you just go back to, you forget about it like 2 minutes later. Stories like this are like, you remember it for a lifetime, and you just keep going back to it because you're just like, well, nothing else is like that, and I just have no choice but to keep returning to these stories that I love so much. And I'm hoping to create a story like that in my newest comic called Saintly. It is a demon chase horror comedy about two best friends who have to outrun the demon loan sharks that they borrowed from. And it is the second story that I get to attempt to try to tell a compelling narrative where it actually means something by the end, and you get the full picture, you get the full effect of what it means by the end of it. And this was like the first little poster that I made of it back in the day. And yeah, I hope to show y'all real soon, like, what it's like, and you guys get to see, like, okay, this is a story worth investing into. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep trucking along on creating it and making these videos, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.